Hello and welcome to a 10-minute takes movie review. Today's movie we are reviewing is Halloween. A little warning up front, we will be discussing some spoilers. I'm not going to try and give too much away, but there is one aspect of this film I really do want to talk about. We just got to talk about it with spoilers. So, with that said, Sam, are you ready to rate Halloween?
I am.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
See it.
Now, even though it's a see it, wasn't perfect. There are some things I do want to talk about, but first, let's just get into the review. Halloween 2018, or the 2018 version of Halloween, because it's the same exact title as the original film. This is a direct sequel to the very first 1978 Halloween. It disregards everything between the first one and this one. So this one takes place 40 years exactly after the original one. Laurie Strode is now an old woman. Michael Myers is old inmate. He's going to be transferred to a maximum security prison where he's going to spend the rest of his days and just pretty much right away. And what follows is that when Michael Myers is being transported, he escapes, he goes back to Haddonfield, chaos ensues. So, with that said, I just want to talk about some things that this movie does right. First, because there is a lot of good in this movie. Obviously, it's to see it. We both really liked it. And for me, the number one thing that this film got right, and it's kind of similar to what I felt like they did with Venom, where they got Venom right. You go to Venom to go see the Venom character. You go to Halloween to see Michael Myers, and they got Michael Myers right. Very happy with the portrayal of Michael Myers in this film.
I think something that they did right was really Jamie Lee Curtis's character. How after 40 years, she had so much PTSD from what had happened from the original that she had nearly broken up her family, and she has devoted all of her time to take down Michael Myers because she knew deep down that he was going to come back for her someday.
100% agree. They really got the family dynamic with Laurie Strode, her daughter, and her granddaughter. They really got that right. Mm-hmm. And I also liked that the granddaughter of Laurie Strode was trying to have a reasonable relationship with Laurie. Whereas like the daughter wanted no part of it, but the granddaughter was like going behind the mom's back to talk to her grandmother. Because I feel like that's how that would really play out. I feel like a granddaughter or a grandchild would try to reconcile with their grandmother, even against their parents' wish. And I really like that aspect. And it created some dramatic moments that I felt played pretty well in the film when those moments hit. The other thing that I felt like this film did right is that I felt like some of the kills in this film were really creative. One particular that I really like, my favorite sort of kill sequence in the film is like this floodlight sequence, motion sensor in the backyard, which was fantastic. It harkened back to like the stalker style of Michael Myers from the original film, which I thought was really cool.
I actually really liked the killing spree in the beginning, but right before he gets the mask.
Oh, okay.
He kills like 4 people, and
at
then
the
he
gas
gets
station.
Mm-hmm. I really like that because that kind of brought me back on really why I was there in the theater watching this film, because that entire sequence just kept me on my toes, and I really liked it.
The one thing I will say about when he does get the mask, I was super disappointed that they didn't play the Halloween theme song when he put the mask on.
You would be disappointed for that.
But they did play the theme song. I've read from a few people that they're disappointed that they didn't play the theme song more, but I heard it 4 times throughout this film. I felt
They played it enough.
Yeah, they played it enough. It wasn't like where I had an issue with Jurassic World, Lost Kingdom, Fallen Kingdom, where they never played the theme song in that film until the closing credits, which made me really mad. With this, there was no anger. They played the theme song. It plays quite a few times, especially when he gets to Haddonfield. That theme song plays, and I felt like they used it to great effect. I just think had it played when he put on the mask, it would have been even better. That scene would have been epic. The other thing that this film did right that I liked a lot was the first kill of the film pretty much blew me away. It wasn't grotesque, but just who they killed was surprising because you don't usually see that kind of stuff. And it wasn't done in a classless way. This was this film's version of Michael Myers in the original killing the German Shepherd. So in the original film, Michael Myers actually strangles a German Shepherd.
We don't need a description of that.
And I guess this is this film's version of that, setting the stakes that no one is safe. And it surprised me, and it kept me on my toes for the rest of the film because I felt like anyone was on the table to be killed at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the entire first 30 minutes of the movie set me in place. There were some times in the middle that I was actually I was a little bit, uninterested for a little small part in the middle of the movie. But the reason that because the beginning was so strong, I really wanted to know how the ending was going to turn out.
Yeah, and I will say that this is a slow burn of a slasher flick. Michael Myers doesn't get his knife that he's most well known for until probably like halfway through the movie. And then when he goes on his killing spree. And there are some sequences, some kill sequences in the beginning, but the film takes its time to set up the characters, the relationships before Michael Myers goes on his rampage. And I feel like they do that to try and get you to care about these characters. And to me, it worked.
Yeah.
The other thing that this film did right that I liked a lot was the ending sequence, the final battle between Laurie Strode and Michael. It was more like a battle of wits, but, you know, if you've seen the trailer, she has her house set up for, like, traps for Michael. She's prepared for him to return. And their final confrontation in her house was fantastically done, and I absolutely loved everything about that final sequence. It made the movie for me.
There's a moment when the daughter, Karen, she had this amazing moment where she was pretending to be one thing and then kind of snapped in place and did exactly what she was there for.
The Strode family girls at the end were pretty fantastic. Some people might have an issue with it. I didn't. It was essentially, it's a horror film, and with the horror films, you know, one of the motifs of horror films is the final girl. And the slasher flicks have one female that makes it to the end. So like Halloween, the original Halloween, it was Laurie. I can't remember who it was in Friday the 13th, but it was a girl. In Nightmare on Elm Street, it's Nancy. In the Scream franchise, it's Sydney. And in the Return of Halloween, this one, it's the Strode family. The Strode family itself is the final girl. All right, so with all that said, I mean, not all that was great. There were 3 issues that I had with this film. And I think it's going to be some of the issues that other people have that are really going to knock this film down for them. And the first issue that I had with this film is that Michael Myers in the original film is a stalker. He stalks Laurie Strode in the street when she's at school. He's driving by in a car watching her. And that is his persona until he starts killing people. Then the stalking kind of stops, and then he's in his murderous rampage. But in this film, he is pretty much a murderous brute from the get-go. There is a lack of proper stalking in this film, and he's not really creepy in this. He's just a brute. He's more Jason Voorhees and less Michael Myers. I didn't mind it that much, but I think had they steered away from the killing brute in the middle of the film and leaned more towards him stalking, it would have been even creepier, and I think would have gotten under a lot of other people's skins more than it did.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I also see it as he was locked up for 40 years and he's just getting out, and that's probably all he's ever thought about is killing and murdering. And so when he finally gets out, he's able to do that. So I kind of see why he would skip over the whole stalking thing. Even if that's what makes Michael Myers, I think that it was okay with me for him just going into all the killings. But I get it for people who are film buffs and people who are really invested in Michael Myers as what he originally was. I can see how that would be a problem for people.
The other issue that I had is the random kills of the film. Michael Myers goes around and he kills people with pretty much reckless abandon. There's
serial killer.
There's some instances where he's killing people that have nothing to do with Laurie Strode's life. Because in the first film, when he's killing people that are kind of caught in the crosshairs of him and between him and Laurie. So I believe the first couple of kills, not babysitters, but the first couple of kills in the original Halloween film, I think Laurie has friends that are staying at her house, and he goes to her house to find them, and he finds her friends, so he kills her friends. Nothing like that happens in this film. It's really just, he arrives in Haddonfield, and he starts going to people's houses, and he starts murdering people. It's a cool sequence, but it left me cold because the people he kills, you don't know who they are. They're just random. They're just there for the kills. They were never introduced prior.
Yeah, but didn't he go to these people's houses to get the tools that he needed to kill other people?
Yeah, but the random killing spree, and I'm not the only one that's has felt that way. There's other people I
understand.
I've talked to that feel the same way, that in the original film, his killing had a bit of a purpose to it, or there was sort of a reason, where this one is just kind of random, and we're just getting kills for the cool sequences, which I'm okay with. One particular sequence that didn't leave me killed was the babysitter sequence. Do you like that one a lot?
The kid was great. I mean, how do you not like that sequence? The little boy was epic. He was hysterical.
And he was really funny. And that sequence, it didn't leave me cold. I actually kind of felt something in that sequence because I kind of liked the characters that were involved with that whole thing. So like that's one instance where I was actually not left cold. Now, the final issue I had with this film, now this is spoiler territory. This is why this review is tagged spoilers, because I absolutely have to talk about this.
I know.
There's a twist that happens towards the end of this film. And I thought it was super lame. So this film has characters. It's got the Strode family. It's got a police chief that captured Michael Myers, who's helping the local town try to find him. It's got the investigative journalists that are making a podcast about Michael Myers. And then you have the doctor. And the doctor is referred to as New Loomis in this film. And New Loomis, towards the end of the film, you find out that he's actually trying to help Michael Myers. And he kills a character while he's defending Michael Myers. So he kills somebody, he kills a cop, and then he sort of saves Michael Myers, puts him in the backseat of a cop car, and then the doctor then tries to take Michael Myers to Laurie. Really strange.
But there's one thing that happened in the middle of there that rubbed me the wrong way, is that I didn't mind that he was the one trying to save him, but the fact that he killed a cop, I didn't want that particular cop, because we liked him, to die in that way. Like, first of all, I didn't even think he needed to die, but I felt like that was a really lame way for him to go for being a part of this franchise as big as he was.
It asks some questions. It doesn't answer any of the questions that it opens up. But I guess it's implied that the doctor helped Michael escape from the bus, and that the doctor wants to try and follow Michael in his quest to find Laurie to see what Michael's going to do.
It was a little far-fetched, I'd have to say. I just felt like it was a little far-fetched.
I agree. It's super far-fetched. I didn't buy into the twist at all. I get that they're trying to make a statement that people get obsessed with Michael Myers, and they were just trying to convey that obsession through the doctor's character, that he got obsessed. And he even puts on the Michael Myers mask to try and, he's like, I guess he's trying to understand what Michael Myers thinks. When he puts on the mask, I guess he wants to try and become Michael Myers in a way. I just thought it was lame. And it lasts for all of 3 minutes. You could remove the twist, and it really doesn't change anything about the film.
Okay. Final thought?
It's a great slasher flick. I didn't find it that scary, save for maybe 1 or 2 sequences. But it has some really high tension. If you go into this for the final showdown between Laurie and Michael, you would not be disappointed, because that is the selling point, and that is the best aspect of this film.
My final thought was actually that if this is the last Halloween film that they make, I'd be cool with that.
Did you mind the kind of open-endedness to the ending?
I didn't mind it because... I didn't mind it.
No?
Because it leaves it open to have another one, but it also kind of keeps it closed.
That was it for this 10-minute take for Halloween. I believe we probably went way over 10 minutes, but that's okay. I wanted to get some spoiler discussion in here. We were thinking about doing a second video, but yeah, that just wasn't going to work. So that was our discussion on Halloween 2018. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more and stay up to date. And as always, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks a lot.